Real MVP. For those of
Hi,
you
good
that
night, good night, good night. Hello, hello, hello. Good night,
hello,
everyone. Hi, my name is Rachel Riley. I am better known as Coach Ray, Coach Rachel, Doc. And tonight I have, as promised, a special guest whose passion is also self care. So, we're talking about Goddess Fresh, my friend, someone who takes this thing to another level. She owns her own spa. She is CEO, operator of FreshBox, recently trademarked. And so I decided I would have her on my Girl Talk because she is a friend of mine. She does great things and she will tell you what she does in a second. For those of you who don't know me, I am Rachel Riley. I am the best-selling author of I Am Enough. I am a mental health professional, a life coach, and curator of the brand Rachael. So, without further ado, let us welcome Fresh. Yes, thank you so much for being
thank
here.
you,
So,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Before we get started, I do want to say, like, I can hear you. It does sound like the audio is a little bit in and out.
Okay,
Um, but I can hear.
can you hear me? Let's see.
It sounds like a computer. Hey.
Do you hear me better now? Hi, Instagram. All right. Instagram won't cooperate for me. So we're doing it live on on her page on Instagram, and we are on Facebook. So if you are not getting good reception on IG, head on over to Facebook. All right. So, Fresh, tell me a little bit about yourself and your brand and how you got into starting this spa. And just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I am a licensed cosmetologist specializing in wax and herbal services, holistic services. Um, the brand was birthed almost 7 years ago. And about 3 years ago is when we began providing services locally here within the community. From V steaming to vajacials to herbal body saunas, anything that is blended with herbs, I love. Definitely passionate about that. And
Let me just tell
I
you.
would say overall, excuse me,
Go ahead. Go ahead. We have a delay, a little bit of a
overall,
delay.
the services once you come to FreshBox Holistic Healing Day Spa here in Sunrise, Florida. We promise to give you quality services that will leave you feeling refreshed and renewed.
And I can testify. Awesome service
Yay!
every single time, right? Talk a little bit about your
Mm-hmm.
herbal supplements.
The herbal supplements is actually a recent venture that I've been getting into overall during this journey for about 6 years. I've learned a bit much of the different herbs and the medicinal properties, and when blended together, how they can help improve our overall health and wellness. So the supplements are an array of things that starts from libido, helping to improve your libido, as well as I would say blood sugar, cholesterol, skin health, joint health, you name it. It is holistic, so it's per each individual, so it's
Yeah.
different for everybody. It looks different for everyone.
Okay. And why do you think self-care is particularly important for women?
Why do I think what's particularly important for women?
Self-care.
Ooh, why I think self care is particularly important for women. Um, Personally, I believe self care is really important for women and our mental health and our emotional health and management. The more I take care of myself and practice self care routines, I feel better within. I'm able to manage my emotions and have a bit more clarity with them because within myself, I've been caring for each part of me that creates a whole me.
Okay. Listen, the first time I hadn't been to a spa in a while. And when I met
Mhm.
Fresh, I said, I have a spa and come on over. And that day I had a massage. That day I did my hair. And when I came over, that was my final part of my self care that day. And when I tell you, it was perfect ending to a perfect day.
Oh, happy to hear that.
It was. It
Happy to
definitely
hear that.
was. Um, so can you share some holistic practices that women can easily incorporate in their daily life?
Some holistic practices. Yes, absolutely. Some holistic practices I incorporate in my daily life. What that looks like. It's little things at hydrating, drinking water,
Mhm.
being hydrated.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
It's a little thing, but it's a big one, right?
See, water, my water.
Drinking water, surrounding myself in like social environments that are healthier, where I feel as though I'm able to be vulnerable, meditation and affirmations. I have a daily journal book that I do like my best to track every day and write down what am I doing today? What is my mood like? It has little quotes in there as well, so it helps to motivate me
Yeah.
as well. Looking for my book now, but it's upstairs in the suite. But quotes in there to help motivate me also. Um, and just really just eating better than yesterday. I would say I wouldn't even say eating better, just eating better than yesterday because that in itself is a journey. You know, not vegan yet.
Getting there. Getting there.
Right, right. So eating better than yesterday, maybe
And giving
another
yourself
practice.
grace.
I would,
If you mess up,
huh?
that's okay. You start over.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, what else? Other self care.
But you gave us a lot.
I would say that yeah,
You gave
there's a
us a
lot of
lot. A good
practices.
place to start, at least.
Huh?
A good place to start.
Yes,
At least
the
drinking
good place to
water.
start. And with the drinking water, can we go ahead and add like spring water, alkaline spring water, not purified water, but like
Not tap water.
no.
Okay. So spring water.
Yes, spring alkaline water. There's really a difference. Um, there was this moment where there was a gentleman at the beginning of my journey of eating better. had shared some information on, water and the difference of it. And at the time, I wasn't too in tuned with alkaline water and purified water and so forth. But he was like, queen. I know they say the guys that call you queen, like it's a flag, but he said, queen, you're
Oh,
he
I
said
love
your diet it needs to consist of more alkaline water. It's very acidic for your body. And I began drinking. He actually purchased like a few waters, and I began drinking Eternal water. And ever since then, I really, really was able to tell the difference
yeah.
that with the alkaline water, I wasn't as parched compared to, drinking several bottles of the purified water.
Yeah.
I was still very parched. So yeah,
You
alkaline
hear that,
water for
ladies?
sure.
No purified water, alkaline water.
Yeah. Oh, somebody said talk about your spiritual journey. That's holistic. Yeah.
Hydration is key. Thanks, Princess.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Hey, JK Consultants. I have a couple people on my live as well checking in.
Hey.
I have another question for you. What inspired you to create FreshBox Mobile Spa? Because, tell the people you also have a mobile spa.
Mhm.
What led you to
Um
create mobile spa?
so my first mobile spa is one.
We're having some technical difficulties. Are you there, Fresh?
I just felt people just outside of.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
So what
I'm here.
what made you create the mobile
Yay.
spa?
Um so one of them that inspired me is that I enjoy traveling a lot. A lot of uh last year I was in the air, going back and forth traveling from Florida to Georgia. And I really enjoyed that a lot. Being able to reach out to people outside of just, the Tri County area here,
Yeah.
and meeting people. That was really nice. So that was absolutely inspirational, and being adventurous is a part of my integrity, core integrity. So traveling just goes right along with that.
Okay. Some of the key products, you talked about the supplements. Can you tell the women, exactly what you sell and where they can get your product?
Yes, absolutely. So, I sell an array of natural products. The daily moisturizing cleansers, they are your genital wash, or well, let's say women, because we're speaking specifically women. But the daily moisturizing cleansers are a hydrating, moisturizing cleanser for women that helps balance the pH, as well as hydrating and bringing the skin back to its original state. Um, and I also have sugar scrubs available. They're all natural. The vaginal suppositories are amazing. They're like the perfect pocket magic poom poom pills. And
Yes, ma'am.
and they are, aren't they? I don't want to be putting too much out there, but they are amazing, y'all. They're amazing. um, Also the herbal supplements that helps focus with your libidos. You can follow that at Herbal Fresh on Instagram or FreshBox on Instagram, and that's FreshBox with a PhreshBox. as well as on our online website to order your V steams, your vaginal suppositories, sugar scrubs, and I think that's it. That's all the wash. Yes.
Okay. Are there specific herbs that you find particularly beneficial for women's health?
So yes, one of my favorite herbs to work with, I would say is a one that's within my tradition. I'm Haitian, so we like to work with a lot of what's called fey masqueti, and that's also known as castor leaf. So castor leaf in the Haitian culture is good for everything. I mean, you have any skin issues, castor leaf. You have gut issues, castor leaf. You want your hair to grow, castor leaf. Castor leaf does it all.
Multi-purpose.
Huh?
Multi-purpose.
It is. It has a lot.
So, well, all right. Since we're on this topic, what are some tips you can give women who are always on the go? What are
Mm.
some self-care tips you can give? Probably
It's
some,
a good one.
some messages you give, some tips you give your clients, that are always on the go.
Tips, tips, tips for women always on the go.
Self-care tips, probably
Uh,
especially for the vajayjay.
you especially for the vajayjay. Okay, self care tips, especially for vajayjay. Um, I would say this tip: taking care of self is not a luxury; it is a necessity. Um, by taking care of oneself, we're able to actually care truly for anyone and anything outside of ourselves. Um, for a woman that's like myself, like always on the go, entrepreneur, mother, I strive to be the greatest at either of those dynamics or any other dynamics that I may wear, or hats I may wear. So self care is just highly important because I want to give my best to anyone else. So I have to start with myself.
Okay.
So it's actually a necessity and not a luxury.
And how can I know you also have a book club that we'll be talking about next week? But how can communities support women in their self-care journey? And you do a bit of that through the book club. So how do you think communities around you can help with supporting women?
Um, how
Because
can
I
I
know
think
you're
communities can?
very involved in the community. So how do you think the
Yes.
support of the community can help a woman in her self-care journey?
So, for example, within SoFlo Community Book Club, we do incorporate like wellness days, yoga days, things of that nature that is free to the community that is helpful and like self care. I also think community is really helpful for self care at those moments that we may feel lonely, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to have a community because then at least we're aware that we're not alone in the moments that we feel like that, you know, because those feelings are real and they try to, in my opinion, take us off of the course of continuing to care for, you know, ourselves and continue to be a better version of us yesterday amongst the challenges and obstacles we go through daily.
Yeah.
So having someone to even socialize with, talk to, you know, even just being a listening ear within the community is just very helpful. Personally, it's been very helpful. I'm not one to really communicate with a lot of people,
Yeah.
but within the tribe I definitely have a great support group within the tribe that I can go to and call in my moments where I'm not feeling as strong as usually. I'm always like the strong person. Like right now I don't feel strong. Can I just talk to you for a minute? Like I might need to cry and release and do those things. So it's very important, at least I know that I'm not alone once, there's a community around to, be there and assist.
And we've done beach days, and I know, like me, you love the beach, and we've done beach days, um, and those
Mhm.
are some of the most bonding. Um, and again, community sometimes shows up for you when you least expect. So those were that particular day was one of the days I wasn't feeling my best, but just being
Mhm.
there, being around you guys, and being, with Oshun, the ocean, it really increased my ability to cope with some of the things I was going through at that time. So
Absolutely. At the beach was mad fun. It was
it
mad
it
fun.
was. Talk about your spiritual journey, if you feel comfortable to share just a little.
Oh yeah, Instagram is asking too. Talk about your spiritual journey. Yes, the
I have
tribe
another
calls.
question too. What about womb cleansing? Do you offer those services?
Ooh. So womb cleansing, womb wellness. I would say the V steaming, the vaginal V steaming is really great for that. It's intentional. So, that's a very sensitive area on the women. So when I provide that service and I'm placing my hands on their womb, I like to ask them, during that massage, like, what is it that you would like to release and let go of? And since releasing and letting go, like, what would you like to welcome and fulfill your womb with? Our womb it remembers experiences. So I would suggest the V steaming for services for womb cleansing.
Yes, and back
All
to
right.
your spiritual journey. I know they want to know.
They want to know.
No.
My spiritual journey has been nothing short but amazing. And it's definitely been amazing. Um, so where do I begin? I'll begin with where most people begin. With my spiritual journey, I grew up in a very religious household setting. Um, we've gone from Seven-Day Adventist to Christian to Baptist, um, to my current church, which is like Kingdom Citizens, which is not necessarily a religion. It's just saying like you're a Kingdom citizen. Um, but it's quite interesting because my pastor is actually he's a scientist, which
Okay.
I like a lot. I like a lot. But for my spiritual journey, that's been quite interesting because a lot of things, honestly, I was just not aware of. I was just very ignorant to a lot of what is now spiritism or whatever. So I learned on the go, and I feel like that's just kind of how the universe works or
Yeah.
energy works. It aligns itself. Once you're in alignment with self, the people who needs to be there are in sync and they're there at that moment. Um, I've had clients that will come in at the spa, don't know them from Timbuktu, and they come in and they drop a word that I absolutely needed that day, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Um, I've incorporated more baths and these things. Mind you, now growing up very religious, were never taught to me as being spiritual.
Yeah.
They were just, like, oh, this is what you do as a medicine, coming to find out that there's cleansing bath. There's, like baths that I do for myself because I want to love on myself, like really love me unconditionally. Learning how to do those for myself also has been really, really fulfilling for me in so many ways. So my spiritual journey is very fulfilling. Um, Even in the midst of storms, I still have peace within, and I feel like I've only had that once I started my spiritual journey. Um, when I was just going to church and on the religious path that I knew of, I always felt like something was missing. And now on my spiritual journey, I feel fulfilled within. I feel confident. Each step that I take, I may not know the next step, but I feel confident in just being my authentic self and knowing that God got me.
He's got you all day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
All day, every day. No
Yeah.
matter what challenges may come your way, once you have that faith of a mustard seed, everything's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to add that spirituality looks different for everyone as well. What I may do spiritually may not necessarily be what others do spiritually. But I think it's important that like we respect everyone's spiritual journey,
Yeah.
and we don't impose our spirituality on anyone else. Um, but it's definitely been nothing short of amazing. Yeah,
I am so happy I got to meet you because I think our energies aligned the very first time we met.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I, yeah. So you have been, there as a staple, and now with the book club that we'll talk about next week. Um, it's an energy that continues to build, and I thank you for that.
My pleasure. You're welcome.
So any final thoughts or messages for women out there who, you know, final thoughts about self-care and, of course, how they can book to come get a theme of a J show. Any final
An
thoughts?
entire experience. Yes. So final thoughts. Oh, thank you. Someone on here said I'm a leader. Do your thing. Appreciate it. Final thoughts. I would say there's no better time to start your self-care journey than right now.
Right now.
Right now. That could be something as what we may think is small, but it's really big. But just saying a nice thing to yourself in the mirror, like speak kind words to yourself in the mirror. It's really, 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 really amazing. It's the best decision that I made after having my last daughter. Well, my last child, was she's a daughter. Was to finally just embark on this self-care journey and really do the work within myself, start being honest with myself, setting those boundaries, and not moving off of those boundaries as well. And that healing in itself has given me so much confidence, not only in just like the decisions that I make because I know they're authentic and true to myself, but it's also helped like my faith go beyond, as I continue to, just care for myself and just take everything a day at a time, just one step at a time.
Yeah.
And it's It's beautiful. It opened the door to for me to figure out how to love myself unconditionally. And that was the best thing that I got from starting my self-care journey.
Yes, yes. I want to thank you so much for being here. I know when I decided to do this, it was, on my last interview, um, I was meditating on the 1st of January, and my supreme power spoke to me. You need to use your platform to encourage women how to take care of themselves. A little bit more
Mm-hmm.
about self-care and self-love. And that's my passion. And so
Mm-hmm.
I paid attention, I listened, and I started this 4-part series for my birthday month, just so that I can reach more women to kind of help them on that journey, of
Mm-hmm.
resilience, of self care, of confidence, of self esteem. So I want to thank you so much for being a part of the 4-part series, saying yes to being a part of it. And
Absolutely.
I will definitely see you guys soon. Book club next week. Fresh is going to be back with her partner, Princess, and we will be talking about their community endeavor of having this book club. I can't wait. So thank you so much, Fresh, for being here. Um,
Yeah.
Peace and love.
Thank you for and having me here today. Um, and for anyone that has any questions, be sure to follow us at our book club at SoFlo Community Book Club. For any questions and products or services, you can follow FreshBox. That's PhreshBox. And Coach Rachael Riley, thank you so much. From your book to this live to everything that you're doing, teaching women to be resilient and loving themselves and caring for themselves, and just knowing that we are enough. How we
Yes,
are at this
yes.
moment,
In the here
truly
and
appreciate the work you're doing.
all right, my love. See you next week. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, I see you to celebrate my birthday. I'll be there.
Yes, happy birthday, strong.
Thank you. Thank
Ah.
you. See you on Sunday.
All right,
All right.
later.
All right, guys. Good night. Good night, Instagram.
God bless.
Yes, good night.